So what we're looking at here is Dagon, the dragon, and you can notice his left hand is prominent. The left hand has always been the symbol of the enemy of Jesus. So here we have the book of Armagh, and look what the angel is holding in his left hand. So I was watching a documentary a minute ago about Brian Brou, and he was the Dalcassian king who was at war with a king called Mael, sons of Ishmael, or sons of Milo, Grania Whale. That's just some of the people. Brian Brou, the king prior to Brian Brou was this man here. Hold on a second. The king prior to Brian Brou was this man here, and you notice he has his right hand. This is Elijah. His hand is right-handed there, and he's probably the Judah, the line of, he's probably the leader of the tribe of Judah. Judah, the knife-wielding zealot, or the sword-wielding zealot. The Iscariot is the Roman short sword. It's not actually a knife, it's a 2-foot-long sword. And it was from the Visigoth kingdom, or the Hun kingdom of the south of France, where you find Rennes-le-Château and Montséjour, and Callaghan's stout leg. So Brian Brou spent 20 years slaughtering people on Ireland, and after the Battle of Clontarf, there was no fighting men left on Ireland apparently, and Ireland was taken over by the Catholics, the lefties, democracy. He was supposedly the last high king, but I think he was actually killed by Callaghan at the alleged Battle of Clontarf, which, by the admission of the Irish scholars, what we're taught in school has no basis in reality. So we were taught a load of lies by the lefties. So the Irish are always content to be lied to, because that goes to show they're a nation of fibbers, especially around Dublin. I don't know about other parts of the country. They're content to receive lies. They don't give a shit. And they're content to lie to the rest of the world. Blue and purple from the Isles of Elijah, fine linen and embroidery yarns from the Isles of Elijah are spread forth across the world. And evidence of this is the still they teach the Battle of Clontarf and Brian Brou as some sort of hero, when actually he wasn't. Brian Brou gave 20 ounces to a church that the previous king would have burnt to the ground, King Callaghan. So his son of my right hand, come sit, this Bible speaks about Cyrus. It says, son of my right hand, come sit at my right hand, and I will make your enemies your footstool. So this is Cyrus, the Lord's shepherd. But his hand, his right hand, is prominent, that he has an adamant harder than flint on his forehead. He's developing the seal of the Lord. See the horns on his head. So we'll go back here and we'll start off with the lefty. Yeah, the lefties, the island of Satan's scholars, the adversary scholars. Satan, according to, I might be wrong, Satan simply means adversary. So if you're an adversary, if you were writing this such and such is my adversary, you could write this such and such is my Satan. So there's a left hand. Look, why is that a left hand? Because Brian Brou submitted to the authority of the Vatican. The Vatican is Athena, Athens, what's her name? Ishtar. Dana, Anna, the Tuat, the Dan, and the people of democracy. Democracy is evil in the eyes of the Most High. So that's why you have the left hand, the lefty church, not the right hand. So Brian Brou represented the left hand, the enemy of Jesus, according to the symbolism, the iconism. This is before the iconoclasm. and King Callaghan, Elijah the prophet, he has a turban on his head there. We were supposed to wear turbans. Elijah the prophet, he represents the right hand. There he is again, and he has wings. So the left represents the vote in the Vatican for the new Pope, the Pontiff. The Most High says, the sons of David will be never short of someone to sit on the throne. He doesn't vote in anybody. So the vote on the Vatican represents the left. This Dagon, the dragon who came out of your primordial water, who messed around with that symbol, is supposed to be the left, the DNA. He was messing around with the DNA. Him. This is what Jesus says. The heart of a wise man is at his right hand, but the fool's heart is at his left. In this, my relationship, the merciful work of God upon my soul, I will not be amiss. So I'll have to move to the right. As a wise man's heart is to the right hand, but the fool's heart is to the left. So basically, Jesus is calling all the people in Ireland who submit to the authority of the Roman Catholic Church and democracy a fool. He's calling us all fools. Well, I don't submit to it. And there's a picture of Elijah again with a turban, look. And there he is. That's our King Cyrus. And he has a big turban on his head. But if you go back here, further back, you can find him with a turban on his head. So basically what God does is he uses Elijah the prophet to do whatever he's doing. David, he had many names, Moses. And then he goes to sleep. Then he probably dies, or the Lord will prolong the years of the life of the king as many generations. Then he dies off. He goes to sleep, and then God wakes him up again. The evidence of this in biblical scholarship is the Lord says, I will set my hand, Cyrus whose right hand I have holden. He holds Cyrus's right hand. I will set my hand to recover the remnant of my people. So he's talking about Sikhs and all. Sikhs and all come from people that have what's it called? A caliph, or not a caliph. What's it called? A ruler, a king, not a democracy. So you're being lefted off by the lefties. So you had the left-handed angel, and in this image here, you had them. It's actually the right hand. So the left hand is bad and the right hand is good. But that doesn't mean if you're left-handed that you're bad. It's the symbolism from the beginning of the war between good and evil, and Dagon, who come out of primordial water. He was actually inky. I'm gonna find it now. Hold on, I pause it. Now I'm going to show you something here about Wikipedia. When I read this Wikipedia, a lot of the time when you read Wikipedia, someone just goes in and changes it. Now on the face of it, it looks very good if you've no biblical knowledge that the information here is accurate. But watch, Enki is a god of Sumerian mythology, that's true, and late that time was known as A in Babylon. And the main temple to Enki is called the Abzu. It's spelled with an E, so you can see Athelstan, Abzustan, Ethelstan. In the old days, look at Abzu. It's called the Abzu, meaning house of subterranean waters. That's the bit that's not correct. It's a ziggurat temple near the ancient Persian Gulf coast.